LinkedIn didn't like it, but I'm here now. So I get a lot of questions in my inbox, off LinkedIn, on my emails. People ask me questions. So I thought I would answer your questions. So this morning, I've collated a list of questions, and I'm just going to literally share my answers to them. So, um, so we'll deal with the first one, and this is a biggie. People ask this one a lot about: do you need a company page? Where should you put your effort? Should it be on the company page, or should it be on the profile? And this is a really good question because, to be honest with you, most people don't know. So, if you're a small business, uh, you know, uh, under 10 employees, your success on LinkedIn is definitely not going to come from the page. So it's nice to have a company page, but it's not going to be the most essential thing that you need. So if you're a small business, it's a nice to have, but predominantly it's going to come from your profiles, connecting with people, having conversations with people. That's where the money is. So um, company page, have it if you want. Now, for bigger businesses, it's important that reputation, that brand is built, and you want to do that, and you've got resource to invest in that. But even then, leads and sales profiles, hands down. If you want to do it organically, obviously ads page is good. Why do company pages get 5% of the reach of my personal posts? Good question. That's by design. LinkedIn does not really want pages having an easy ride, because if they did, their advertising products would collapse. That said, LinkedIn's launched profile-based advertising, so you can now promote your own posts. So it kind of makes sense that all the reach has come down, because they got us, they set us a standard that the reach of early 2025 is where we should be, and then they take it all down. Guess what? We want to get that back up. So some people are actually spending money to boost their posts. So company page posts don't go as far, don't get as reach, because it's by design. And also just think about it. Who wants to engage with a logo? Really? Your content has to be really flipping good to engage with a logo. Whereas a person, it's easier. What is a cost per lead on LinkedIn? Oh, right. Well, I'm going to give you some stats, and this varies by industry. If you're using paid, it's between £200 and £400 per lead on LinkedIn with ads. Now, people can say, well, they can get you better leads and cheaper leads, but generally then you have to do a lot more nurturing to them. So if if you're getting a lead like a discovery call lead, it's £200 to £400. If you're thinking about organic, that's a bit harder to define. So from content, that can be, you have to map out how much time you're taking. From outreach, you also have to do that. So it's much harder to track the cost, the ROI, as in how much effort equals one lead, because it's different by every person. It's also important about how much your message is dialed in. Most people are chasing like algorithms and trying to do that, but actually, to be honest with you, it's more the message that makes your ROI better than any algorithm hack. People talk about silent fans, people who view but don't like. All right, how many silent fans are actually in our pipeline? Oh, okay. So silent fans, it is true to say on LinkedIn, the vast majority of people are lurkers. Most of the best customers are lurkers. And so you should never judge your content purely by who's engaging, because a lot of people don't engage. In some corporate environments, I've been into companies where their policy has been, don't do anything on LinkedIn because you'll get fired. And they're trying to change that, but there's still a lot of people, the culture is, don't engage with anything because I don't know who's going to see what I'm engaging with. So it's true. But if you look at it and look at well, hang on a minute. How many people are liking my posts versus impressions? And you can map that out and you go, well, hang on a minute. It might be like 1 to 40 or 1 to 20. So don't think that the engagements you get are the true measure of your post, because as this question hints at, there's a lot of people who are growing and building trust in you, but are not engaging with you because they don't want to they raise their head above the parapet. So it's true to say there's a lot more people paying attention. And just on that note, where on earth, I know sometimes I look like I'm a downer on content. I'm really not. It's just a lot of people put all their eggs on it, or put all their chips down on it, all their eggs in one basket. Got my metaphors mixed up there. Where else on earth would you have an opportunity for your business to actually put out and get your content, even with terrible views, in front of 200-300 people every day? Where would you get that without paying for it? So it's even with the low reach, even with the struggle, it's still the best thing you can do to put out your business and promote your business for free every day. Is going viral a waste of time if the viewers aren't my ideal customer profile? Well, I'll give you a straight answer. I'm quite binary in this, and I will tell people going viral is a total waste of time. It's actually become a thing that people are telling you is a good thing because they sell a product to do it. So you'll see a lot of people who say they're social selling, but when you look at their content, it's all about going viral. That's not sales. So is there an advantage to going viral? Well, yes, you build, your name is more widely known. Yeah, that's true. Is the conversion there from going viral? No, actually your conversion rate goes down, because generally the things that go viral are things that are not relevant to your topic. They have like mass appeal. So if you're selling to accountants and lawyers, it goes beyond accountants and lawyers. So going viral doesn't necessarily equal more business. In fact, it probably means less. But there is a kind of, celebrity thing to it on LinkedIn. So if you want to get more wider fame, great, that can work. And also it feels good. So sometimes I like to go viral just because it feels good. And that's all right. I'm a human being. I'm allowed to want things, and you are too. But don't kind of think, oh, well, if I go viral, the leads in the business will come. It isn't always true. So what's the minimum amount of time I can spend on here and see a result? Okay, so if you want to spend as little time as possible on LinkedIn and actually get a result, i.e. a meeting booked, no sales are done on LinkedIn. It's a meeting, you have a conversation with a prospect, you propose something, you close something. So if you're trying to do that, it can be 30 minutes. 30 minutes a day is all you need, half an hour. But you have to do the right things in the half an hour. If you just log into LinkedIn and go, what am I going to do now? That's not going to work. So I for my own business development, I only use half an hour a day, and I focus on starting conversations, whether it be through content, whether it be through polls, whether it be through the messaging. I'm starting conversations in this 30-minute block. So it can be as minimal as 30 minutes. Now, if you want to use LinkedIn for other purposes, you like scrolling, you like consuming the content, fine, there's no problem. But don't deceive yourself that is business development activity. A lot of people's activity on LinkedIn, where they go, oh, I've been prospecting on LinkedIn or whatever, they've not been. They got sucked down a rabbit hole and ended up engaging with cat videos. So yes, should we be using thought leadership ads to boost my best performing post? Here's how I use the thought leadership ads. So I have a post I do on a Wednesday called a Win on Wednesday. And when I have a Win on Wednesday post that does well, i.e. I get leads from it, I will put an ad behind it and target more people like the people who've inquired. You get it? So let's say, use a ridiculous. I did a win on Wednesday yesterday. Didn't do so well, actually. Normally I do better than that one, but maybe I missed the mark with it. Let's say I do a win on Wednesday post, and a plumber, and ridiculous example, but a plumber messages me asking for help based off the post. If that happens, what I do is I run a thought leadership ad and target plumbers. So I'm showing the same piece of content to more of the people who've engaged. It doesn't always work, but it does work a lot of the time. So that's what you can do. Does having a lot of random connections hurt my reach more than it helps? Well, kind of, yes. So last year, LinkedIn kind of coupled up Brew 360, which is a new way the algorithm works. And it works off different metrics. It's not just about, how well your post, how good your post is and how much engagement it gets. But one of the things that, and I made this mistake too, was growing as many connections as possible, not the value of the connections. And a lot of creators do this as well. They connect with other people who do what they do, and they all kind of buddy up and support each other. And it sounds nice, but what happens is, right, let's say I was targeting plumbers, and I've got IT technicians and all these different random people in my network. I have no control over who sees that post. And LinkedIn judges me and judges my post by how people engage with it. Do they consume it? Do they spend time on it? Do they find it valuable? All of those things that the algorithm's looking at. Now, if I've got random connections, what happens if I write a post today for plumbers and actually a lawyer sees it and goes, irrelevant, not relevant for me? I have no idea and no control over how the algorithm will treat my post, but it won't be good. I can tell you that now. So it's true, and this is an unrealistic standard here, but if I had a network full of plumbers and all I talked about was plumbing and growing a plumbing business and how to get plumbing clients on LinkedIn, guess what? My resonance with that audience would be more. So there is some truth to it. It's not perfect. You can't have 100% ICP in your LinkedIn network. Let's be real about it. But it is true to say that the more of the right people are in your network, the more your post reach will improve, because more of the right people will be paying attention. Okay. Why do micro case studies, it's very specific, micro case studies outperform 10-page white papers? I don't know what your definition of a micro case study is, but I'm assuming it's a small document or small case study. If it's a small case study, the general reason it consumes better is because it's more digestible. So there's this weird conflict between, you want people to stay on your content longer because the algorithm loves that, but also if it feels overwhelming, people check out quicker. And then you've got this other bit where if it's too short, people don't stay around. So the micro case study is, if it's a short, like carousel style, swipeable, they can read it, light bite information, snackable information, that may inadvertently keep people on it longer than a 10-page white paper, which has got too much information that people just navigate away from. So that would be my thoughts on it. That there is this sweet spot where if information feels too overwhelming, people check out. And in my workshops, I actually show a slide of that. Should I post vertical video? So vertical video, I've stopped or trying not to post as much vertical videos. I've started to post square videos. I'm posting one this afternoon. And the reason being is, when you post a vertical video, the captions get lost. And so LinkedIn is a very caption heavy platform. So when you get these vertical videos, the captions can get lost. So a square one has worked well for me. Doing a kind of 16:9 doesn't work as well because it's so small, but a square one's a nice happy medium. How do I write a hook that stops CEOs from scrolling? Ooh, hooks are very, very tricky. So hooks are, for those of you not aware, at the top of a post, you've got 3 lines. Those 3 lines, the purpose of those 3 lines is to get people to continue reading. So you've got the asset, the image, video, image, or whatever you put up, and then you've got these 3 lines, which are technically the hooks. They are teasers, basically, to incentivize people and motivate people to read the rest of the post, to click the see more. So a good hook has some specificity. So it can't be just like, oh my God, you've never believed this. So the hook has to show the audience what they gain by hanging around, but also deprive them of any detail. So a hook should not be descriptive. So I would think about what is relevant to CEOs, what problems do they have? Maybe how can you reference their name in the hook somewhere? But the purpose of a hook is not to describe something. The purpose of a hook is actually to tease some value. What's in it for me? And keep them guessing. So it can't be vague. It can't be like sensationalized without substance. But it is a little bit of a kind of, somebody said to me, and I didn't like it, but it's kind of true. Hooks are 99% clickbait. They have to basically deliver on the clickbait, but that's what they're there to do. They're there to get people to read the post. So, yeah. What is dwell time? Why are people saying it's more important than likes? Well, it is, basically, and LinkedIn's own engineering blog actually talks about this, that there is a weighting. The quality of content, dwell time is a very, very important factor. And I mentioned it earlier. Platforms make money by selling or renting our attention to companies, ads. And so how long people stay on things becomes an important measure for LinkedIn in terms of their business model. So if your post keeps people on it longer than the average post, you will get more distribution. So it's just as simple as that, really. Dwell time is just LinkedIn appraising your content by how well it keeps people occupied. That's how LinkedIn makes money. So that's true on company pages. It's true on everything. It's not the only factor, but it is a seriously heavy weighting. A lot of content creators who go and engage with each other, they're all amping each and pumping each other's numbers up. They've actually, and I've watched this from some of their stats, they've noticed, and I've noticed, a significant fall in their impressions, where like 40,000 impressions would probably be like 100, 200 likes. They're now getting up to 800, 900, 1,000 likes to get that kind of same number. And why is that? Well, the reason why that's true is often because a lot of the people who are engaging for their own sake. So they're not really consuming the post. They're just engaging so that that person engages back. It's rampant on LinkedIn that people do that. So what you do is go and look at some of these posts where they got 800 likes. Go to their profile, look at their activity, look at their comments, and you will see that there's streams and streams of them commenting on other people. And all the same people they're commenting on are the same people that are commenting on their posts. So it kind of gives you a warped perception of how much engagement they actually get. But it does pump their numbers. How often should I post? Is it better to do 5 times a week or once a week with something epic? So I'll say a couple of things here. You have no idea, and I have no idea what will be epic, right? Some of the best posts I've made, or what I thought were the best posts, have been the worst. And some of the posts that I thought would flop have actually done really well. So you have no idea what epic is. The audience tells you what is epic. So be careful about you creating the most perfect post, because you have no idea whether it's any good until you put it out there. So that's the first thing. So that whole point of doing a killer post once a week, that assumes that you know what works. And I've been doing this for a long time, and it still surprises me what works and what doesn't. So that's out of the way. Trying to do one killer post is like, it's like trying to do a knockout blow. Yeah, if you can do a knockout blow, great. But if your whole strategy hinges on a knockout blow, it's risky. So then it becomes about, well, how often should you post? Well, I'll give you some thoughts. There's different types of posts you want to be putting out: top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel kind of content. So there's 3 straight away. But then there's also your experimentation, learning what gets your audience to respond. So I often say to people, really, 2 or 3 posts is good. But if you're trying to learn about getting good at writing content for your target audience, you might want to do a few more just to kind of develop the skill. So I'm not saying you do that forever, but you might do a few more to develop the skill. So I would say commit to 2 or 3, mandatory, and then during the week, when you feel inspired, throw a few others up randomly and just see what happens. Learn from the analytics and see what happens. But you don't need 5 posts a week, and neither should you be banking on one knockout blow post every week either. I'll do a couple more and then I'll sign off. Sales Navigator, is it still worth the monthly fee for a small team? Yes. Like, I get no kickback from LinkedIn, by the way, to sell you Sales Navigator. But as a salesperson or as a business owner, you want to talk to the right people. And LinkedIn's free and premium search is not good enough. And I'm sure that's by design, but it's not accurate enough to be able to find the right people quickly. So you could save yourself the Sales Navigator fee and use premium, but you're basically increasing your workload because you'll have to really filter who you're going through. Like, you'll have to spend a lot more time filtering who you're targeting because there'll be more randoms in there. So for the 30, 40 quid a month difference, whatever it is, it's about value in your time. And I would reckon it will probably add 2 or 3 hours more onto your time each month doing it that way. So I would say Sales Navigator's worth it just for speed of finding the right people. And there's some cool tools in there in terms of how you can manage leads and how you can move leads through a process. So there's a lot of bells and whistles in there that would be helpful. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to use Sales Navigator other than search for people. And so they see it as like a glorified search tool that they, use once a week every now and then. They're not using it as part of their sales and prospecting, and so it fails. And it seems like a cost when actually it's a massive asset. Is a voice note or a video DM more effective than a text DM in 2026? Yes. I don't like the kind of videos where you literally just go, hi, how are you? They feel a little bit weird. I get a lot of, young lads in gym vests, like looking like they're Alex Hormozy wannabes, messaging me, telling me how they can grow my business to 11 figures. And I just think it looks weird and it's just too much. Voice notes are really high touch. They're good for personal contact as well. Some people don't like them. Some people don't love them. Some people don't care about them. You can't please everybody. But good thing about voice notes, people don't know what you're saying until they listen. So that's a good hook to get people to pay attention. And also, if you're doing a voice note, you can actually get more out and say more without them losing interest. A DM more than 50 to 60 words, you've lost people. But a voice note, you can go up to 60 seconds and you'll hold people for a lot longer. So you can explain more, you can talk more in a voice note than you can type and still hold their attention. I'll do one more. Let's have a look. Let's see what we're on. Here we go. Should I include my pricing on my profile? Oh, Now, this won't work necessarily for everybody, because you might have very, very bespoke. But if you've got packages, you could put your prices on your profile in your featured section where you put your offers and stuff. You could put your pricing there. It will help, because any inquiries you get, they already know the price. So that kind of price negotiation kind of is a bit easier, because there's no surprises. For an example, I know one person who was actually pretty cheap pricing wise for their one-to-one strategy sessions, but the perception was they were going to be very expensive. And so by putting their prices on, they actually got more paid strategy sessions, just as an example. I've also seen it work the other way, where people are really, really expensive and they get loads of inquiries for cheapy. And then when they put the prices on, they actually get better quality inquiries as well. So the pricing is a filter. It tells your audience who's for them and who's not. So it can be useful. But there's a lot of people I meet in business who still haven't got over the ickiness of their pricing. And so I tell people this: if you feel uncomfortable about your pricing, you have to get over that, because it's going to sabotage your sales. One of the ways to get over that is to put your prices on your services and put them on your profile. Get over it. Desensitize yourself. If you're afraid of your price, I can promise you're losing sales. If you feel uncomfortable about your price, you are losing sales. 100% true. One thing you can do, you have to desensitize yourself to your price. I come from, modest background, council estate. And so even to this day, 30 years after growing up, or whatever, maybe 25 years after growing up, or whatever it is, I still go, oh, $2,000, it's a lot of money. And it is a lot of money, but in the scheme of things, I employ, 30 people. My payroll's $1 million a year. Yeah. So you go, but $2,000 is a lot of money. Sometimes you're wired to think about money differently. And so what you need to think about is start to write posts. And it may feel icky and cringe, but if you have trouble with your price, write a post and go, here's why I charge more. Here's why I charge $10,000 for my 12-month support package. Here's why we're the most expensive. You can post whatever you want. Your LinkedIn is a free country. If you want to, you can post lunch pictures on there. I'm not saying it'll get you business, but it's a free country. So if you want to post your price up there, and if you're afraid of your price, or if you feel icky about your price, you should, because it's the fastest way to get over it. I always say, if there's something that you feel icky about, and it could potentially be stopping you making sales, you have to do it. You have to do it. So, yes, I would put your price on your profile. It can filter, but it can also help you get over the awkwardness of your pricing. Oh, 42. Right, this is a 40-second question that I've had. Should I hire a ghostwriter for my LinkedIn? Now, disclosure, I actually own a business that does this for companies. So I own a business that does this, but I will give some honest opinion. A ghostwriter is basically doing things for you. Now, if it's about, we need to get stuff out there, great, no problem. If you're trying to become a content creator and you outsource your content to somebody else, you are not a content creator. So it depends really on what your objective is. Because if you think about it, if you hire a ghostwriter and you start growing a following, if you start growing a brand, there's an argument to say they're not actually following you, they're following your ghostwriter through you. That creates a problem for you if that relationship with a ghostwriter ever changes. So I have no problem with using a ghostwriter. There's lots of people on LinkedIn who do that. The issue is it you? And the best way to build a personal brand is people connecting with you. If they're connecting with an engineered version of you, is that the same thing? And I think we're in a point in the world right now where people are craving connection and they're craving authenticity. And I'm not saying you're inauthentic by using a ghostwriter, but it's much harder to build that audience of people who like you for you if you're not you, if you're somebody else, an optimized you. So I'll leave that one with you. I do that service for people, but they're not really trying to build their personal brand. It's just so that they get their marketing message out there and they, get visible so they can have conversations with people. So it's more about content helping the sales process and making it easier to sell rather than that kind of content creator, thought leader world. I would argue actually if you're trying to build your thought leadership, outsourcing it is probably not a great idea. Anyway, that's enough from me. Feel free to disagree with me. I'll maybe do a few more of these and share some more questions. I've got a long list on my computer here. I keep them all because I think they're great FAQ blogs. They're great things. So I'll do some more of this in the future. Thanks. Have a great